welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Alicia. So basically, thank you to everybody who subscribed. I'm very appreciative of that. Somebody asked me to do my labor and delivery story, so that's what I'm gonna be doing tonight. So I went for my prenatal appointment on June 8th, 2017. I was told that the baby wasn't breathing correctly, so they told me to go directly to the hospital. So I went directly to the hospital, and the nurse, put me in a wheelchair and rolled me all the way to the ultrasound. So they did an ultrasound and they came back and they're like, the baby's fine. So I was like, okay, that's great, that's good. I can go home now. They're like, no, you're high risk and you're dilating, so you need to stay. So I said, okay. At that point, I had already had my hospital bag in the car for like 2 weeks because I didn't know when my water was gonna break, and I didn't know, when he was gonna make his appearance. So I had already had my bag in the car for a while. So they moved me upstairs in the space of like 20 minutes of being downstairs. They moved me upstairs to the labor and delivery unit. So I was there, and I was walking because I was like, I want to dilate quicker. So, because I hate being in a hospital. So I was like, I want to dilate quicker. So I was walking, my mom was with me, and walking while having contractions is like trying to walk with fire between your legs. So I was just like, this hurts. Every step that I took, another contraction came. And I was just like, ow. So, and don't get me wrong, I never ever thought that labor was gonna be easy. I never thought that. I just didn't think it was gonna be that bad because that was crazy. So, anyways, I ended up going back to my room after walking the hallway, I think about 3 times. I walked it up and down from the doors to the other side. I walked it 3 times. And so I went back to the room, and my mom said she was gonna go get some food. So she went to go get some food, and at that point I couldn't even eat because they said that I might throw up. So I didn't get to eat. So she went to go get her food, and I was sitting there on the ball and I was bouncing, and my contractions were coming harder than ever. So I'm just bouncing and I'm like, breathing through the contractions. And at the same time while I was breathing, I was texting people because I was like, I'm not gonna let contractions stop me from talking to my friends. So I was texting at the same time while having a baby, I guess. So, the contractions were there, and, I got used to it after like an hour, so I was okay. And so I was sitting on the bed, and I was just on my phone playing a game and whatever. And a woman came. She was like across the room from me, and she was like having her baby. And she was like, I want that epidural. And she was just screaming a whole bunch of provocative words. And I was just like, but it wasn't really funny. I know I shouldn't have been laughing, but yeah, my mom was like, you're not gonna be laughing pretty soon. And so I was like, yeah. So they put me on Pitocin. And for anybody who doesn't know what Pitocin is, Pitocin speeds up your labor. It's a drug that basically makes your contractions come. So they put me on Pitocin, and I think like 10 minutes later, I said to the nurse, I was like, can I get some gas? Because this is crazy. So she was like, yeah, sure, I can get you some gas. So I got the gas and I started breathing in. I was fine after that. I think I took a nap and then I woke up because contractions got worse. So, I was just looking at the contraction monitor and it was just like ziggy, 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 ziggy. So I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I'm really about to have a baby. So they came to check me and they're like, oh, you're 2 centimeters now. And I'm like, great, great. Literally only 8 more to go. So that's great. So, I was watching TV and I'm just sitting there on the bed, just walking from side to side. And I was like, I can't wait for this baby to get out because I'm so tired of being pregnant. I'm tired of being in labor. I'm tired of being in pain. But at that point, I was like, I'm not getting that epidural. So I got up to go and pee. And while I was peeing, I was having contractions. So my mom had to hold me at the same time because I was like screaming a whole bunch of cuss words. And so they came back and checked me and I was like at 4 centimeters. And I was like, yo, I don't, just so, this hurts. So, they came back again, maybe like 3 hours later, and they checked me, and I was still at 4 centimeters. So they put some Cervidil in my cervix to make my cervix open up a little bit more. So they took a couple of hours to come back. I think somebody was having a baby, so they took a couple of hours to come back. So when they came back, I was at 5 centimeters. And basically, when you're at 5 centimeters, from what the nurse said, you could stick 5 fingers inside your vagina. So I guess she had 5 fingers inside and whatever. And so I remember being so uncomfortable, and my phone is dying, so excuse this movement. I have to go and plug it in. So I remember being so uncomfortable, like so uncomfortable, because I had a human hand all the way up. And so basically she was like, I'm gonna break your water. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute, because once they break your water, they say that your labor speeds up. So I was like, hold on, wait a minute, because at that point she had already had her whole hand all the way up. So I'm like, wait. So she's like, okay. So basically she tricked me, because literally, like, as soon as she said okay, like 2 seconds later, she broke my water. And I'm just like looking at her and I'm like, why? So anyway, she broke my water. Splish splash. And I just remember seeing, because they gave me a towel to wipe myself, and I just remember seeing blood, and I'm just like, I'm bleeding. So she's like, yeah, that's normal, it comes out with the water. So anyways, it kept gushing out for a couple of hours, and then it stopped, I think, if I remember correctly. So I had to pee at this point. So I went to go pee. And I came back, and when I sat down on the bed, my contractions were like, boom. So I was screaming for the nurse. I was like, I need the epidural. I can't do this. I need the epidural. So she was like, well, it's going to take an hour to get the epidural here. I'm like, get it here now because I'm going to die. So she took about 20 everlasting God minutes. I would never forget, because I was in the most excruciating pain. And I was like, I will never do this again. Well, at that point, I was like, I'll never do it again. Now, I'm good. So, yeah, so they got the epidural there. They told my mom she couldn't be in the room when they would give me the epidural. So she had left and they gave me the epidural and then she came back. So at that point I was good, like my whole body was numb. So then on June 11th, 2017 at 9:26 p.m., my baby boy made his arrival after 3 days of being in labor. Oh my God. He made his arrival and he was 6 pounds, 13 ounces, 21 inches. And he was just the cutest little thing ever. He was so tiny. He is actually the first human to make me cry the way I cried. So now he's gonna be 3 in June, and he's the most happiest baby ever. And I'm really thankful for him because he's in my life. I'm really thankful for him. I love him very, very much. That's my baby boy. So yeah, that's just my labor and delivery story. Contractions were really, really bad, but after the epidural, everything just went smooth. And baby boy made his arrival. So if anybody has comments, drop it down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and everybody stay safe because I know this coronavirus is still out there. Stay safe. Peace out.